I understand, hindi lang siya, syempre art has value, entertainment value, economic value, a social value, lahat yan. But because I also know the work behind it, the discipline, the effort, it adds a layer to it eh. So pag may kliyente ako or may kailangan kausapin na creative or artist, I don't just look at the output, but I look at the process and the story of the artist. And for me, because I've been there in some way, and I have friends who I have a deep connection with in the industry, parang it's really not as simple as it is. It is so much more to the art. The value is so much more to the artist also. I guess the difficulty of IP, particularly in copyright, is there's no one clear test that you can apply to everything to know na, kinopya yan. Hindi siya mayari niyan. Ginaya niya si ganyan. It's always at least especially for legal, it's always going to be factual, case-to-case analysis. Even there might be like some criteria, both in the rules or in case law or jurisprudence, hindi siya one line fits all, parang ganon. It's always going to be fact and evidence-based. And that's why there's some caution and kind of like parang you have to tread lightly. For every artist there, I suggest you document your process. It's not naman everything, but keep it. You don't have to show it. So it's evidence eh. So kung meron kang kinuhang references, you check when you got it. You document it, put timestamps in your work. For my digital artist, take pictures of your work in the process, in the middle of it. Make it part of the portfolio na rin eh.
Yeah.
It's extra work, but you never know.
So at Studio Maya, we try that our guests have creative backgrounds when they are going to get interviewed para they understand what we're going through as creatives. So we have a treat today. Kasi today, I've been trying to set this up for a long time. We are going to talk about our legal rights. Yay! Kasi malaking issue to sa creative industry, ano? So, I invited over a very good friend who is an IP expert. She will be talking about our rights as creatives in the creative industry. Her name is Attorney Pearl Ganzon. She is one of the founding members of Ajalo. We will be putting links to the comments and dito sa video, going to your website. And she has her toes dipped in the creative industry. When I say creative industry, hindi lang siya with visual art, lahat pati entertainment kasama siya
Yes.
doon. Ano? So, yun nga, and she is a creative herself. We will be talking about her creative process before we talk about the law part first, like we do with all our guests. Ano? So, Pearl,
Hi, Panch!
thank you for agreeing to this and to talk about yung rights natin as creatives. Ano? And I've known you since college.
I know.
Oo.
That was a long time ago.
So long time ago, we've matured and yun nga, back in college, I remember lang, kasi we got close kasi both of us, we had our own language in terms of creating. And
Yes.
so, even during first year, I was drawing and painting. And then you had your own thing,
Yes.
acting dun sa Blue Repertory
Yeah.
ng Ateneo. Diba? So, tell us lang how you got into that. Kasi from what I understand, hindi lang siya yung repertory part eh.
Yes.
You had your website,
Yeah.
had your blog.
Yeah, tama. Those were the
So,
days.
those were the days. And you were
It's so
also
different.
designing, ha?
Yes, yes.
Photoshop and stuff. I didn't know Photoshop. Ikaw pa nga ata nagturo sa akin nun eh. So, let us know lang, ano yung creative impetus mo during your younger years? Tapos we'll transition going to
No
where you
college
are
and now.
And you're an art collector now with your husband, si
right.
Al. Diba?
Yeah.
So we will talk about that. Pero first, yung younger years, ano yung creative process mo during that time?
So, fortunately, at an early age, bata pa lang ako, I have great parents who really valued a love for reading, spending time through watching really good movies, and kind of talking about those things. So, I remember as a little kid consuming a lot of books and being very immersed into that world. So bata pala ako, I had a very creative or wild actually imagination. So I would I would get immersed into different worlds, and I enjoyed making my own worlds. So through play, through talking about it with my sisters and my classmates in school. So parang nung time na yun, I just like having this kind of world stories in my head. And so I think that started it. So I would read a lot. I think it's from consuming these things that my world expanded and inspired me, or kind of like pushed me to kind of think, not be contented with what you see at the present, and go beyond. So like when I was a kid, nung pinanonood ko yung mga animations, like Disney, or reading fairy tales, even Star Wars, pinanood ko yung bata ko. So like these things are just so eye-opening that it expanded my world, parang worldview. And I think until now, ganun pa rin ako. And syempre, it's richer in a way. But I feel like, especially now, that I took a writing class siguro nung pandemic, like sometime nung pandemic, and I was talking by someone, a writer who I greatly admire. And during that class, it wasn't more really like a writing class. It was more like a creative class. And she mentioned na parang how fragmented this modern world is, and that creating and creativity is kind of like a unification of yourself amidst this fragmented world. And that really resonated kasi when I think about my job now as a lawyer and as a mom and as a wife and a friend or a daughter, with all these hats, it can really feel super fragmented. And with parang creating and creativity as a way of life, it grounds me. Kasi parang it's not just the output, it's more like being able to think creatively, and yung parang magmumuni-muni ka lang and have that long conversations. I feel that is part of that creative parang impetus and process that can be very quiet. Like sa umaga lang, or once you're in the middle of all the stuff, my to-do list, parang there are just moments na I have to take a pause and kind of create in my head. Sometimes may isip ako parang thesis statement, or like that I have to write down, or an idea that I have to kind of note down. Buti na lang may mga digital platforms now, so it's easy to kind of like note it on the go. So those things until now, I still do. And I feel like it is so helpful for me with the stress of this fragmented world, na to keep that kind of way of life. Yan.
Ganda nung fragmented world.
Diba? Nung sinabi niyo yun, parang like, oh my God, oo nga. Yeah, it's...
It's happening now, di ba?
Yeah.
With all the wars and yung sa Philippines pa with everything, voting for this candidate, supporting this candidate, di ba? And then sa personal part, the hats that you're wearing na sinabi mo nga. And which brings us to yung process mo lang. Kasi yung sa musical ba, yung tawag sa mga actresses are thespians?
Yeah, I mean...
Thespian ba rin siya?
Yes, kasi it's still theater. Parang musical theater is just like a form of parang a sub-genre of theater, but it's still theater, live performance.
Kasi I've seen some of your shows when we were younger.
Oh, yun naman yung time na nag-perform ako nung college. I had to park that away kasi I did law. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get to that. Pero how do you get into character?
Oh.
Kasi diba, for example, as visual artists, when we create something, we try to immerse ourselves in that situation in order to conjure this world na nga you were talking about, diba?
Mhm.
And put them in the canvas or kung anong medium yung gamit namin. With thespians naman, ano yung process mo of kumbaga, internalizing yung character that you will be playing? Do you have may mga rituals ka ba that you do, or do you research ba on something and then you try to internalize it and then you execute it on stage?
Well, I haven't been performing in a long time. So those were really special days when I used to perform. So like when it comes to especially as syempre performing different avenues yon, but specifically with theater and acting, matagal na, and I have a lot of friends in the industry whom I deeply admire and support. Um, when when it comes to acting kasi, it's a very collaborative team kind of environment, and I love that. So parang you don't, yes, you have a character, and yes, you have to research and internalize. For me, importante sa akin yung may background, may context. Kasi very story narrative driven talaga are the things that really inspire and excite me. So having to be a character or a supporting character with a story really helps kind of ground my purpose and intention. So importante yun. But what's great about the theater, being in part of theater, I think, is that you feel everyone is supporting, and dyan papasok yung director, yung co-directors or choreographers or the vocal artists kasi it's musical. So we say our feelings through music and song. Is that they will guide you, and that with your since parang you're kind of vibing off from your parang co-actors, yung energy nila, you'll really feel it. So you have your internal research, internal mind, intention, meron yan. But malaking factor talaga how your co-actors inspire, motivate you, add layers to the story. So with that, I feel like one of the great things and magic about live theater and performance is you really get to be in the moment, and that story is shared by everyone. Like, lahat kayo, kahit na kanya-kanya kayong character, whether you guys are enemies in the story or being hurt by each other, alam mo na yung role niya is so important when it comes parang in relation to your role. So I think that's what I miss about performing, is also being with my friends, with people who are so similar, who understand your language, yung parang tayo. And dun mo rin makikita, ma-appreciate yung art form, not just the story, but also the way it's executed. And that hindi lang siya, syempre, a large part of that is being able to entertain and to tell a story and to send a message. But yung discipline and hard work that comes with it, hindi kasi yun, syempre, kung hindi ka immersed doon, hindi mo masyadong may isip yun, or hindi mo rin makita lahat ng detalye. Pero dahil kasama ka doon, nakikita mo yun, nabibigyan mo siya ng halaga. So I get to appreciate those things, and I bring that now to how I work with artists.
You what?
I bring that kind of appreciation na parang I understand hindi lang siya, syempre art has value, entertainment value, economic value, a social value, lahat yan. But because I also know the work behind it, the discipline, the effort, it adds a layer to it eh. So pag may kliyente ako or may kailangan akong kausapin na creative or artist, I don't just look at the output, but I look at the process and the story of the artist. And for me, because I've been there in some way, and I have friends who I have a deep connection with in the industry, parang, it's really not as simple as it is. It is so much more to the art. The value is so much more to the artist also.
Yeah, ang ganda nung sinabi mo na dun sa process part din, ano? Kasi
Oo.
when you look at kasi people think na when you're doing art, na you're just playing eh. Diba?
Yeah, you can. Pwede naman.
Actually, it feels like,
Yeah.
diba? It actually feels like you're getting away with some stuff, diba? Pero at the end of the day, if you're going to be good, if you're going to be great, there is a lot of work na you put into the craft eh. Diba? It may look and seem like it, pero yun nga, once you're going to get to the certain level, meron ng mga certain sacrifices na you have to make, And when you also said about hindi lang yung process pero yung story ng artist, nandun yun mag-a-adapt at mag-a-adapt yun no? Once you elevate your process, your story gets more interesting din ano.
Yeah.
And gusto ko lang ang ganda nung sinabi mo about the whole ecosystem of the theater.
Yes.
Kasi sa
I
visual
love it.
arts, mas nag-thrive kami on the silence part.
Oh, I guess. Oo nga.
But even if we work together on a mural or a collaborative
Kanya-kanya pa rin ba?
aspect, syempre nandun naman yung may dynamics pa rin. Pero what we seek kasi sa audience namin is to stand still Diba? With theater, it's more of a diba? Something
Team
is
effort
happening. Atmospheric siya
Yeah. Oo.
Atmospheric
Alright.
yung visual arts, pero yun nga, it should make you stand still and, diba? And
yes.
or bother you or something.
Yes, or bother you. Parang yung impact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm curious. I've never asked you this question, with all our conversations and stuff. I think this is the first time I'm going to ask you this. Why didn't you pursue becoming a thespian?
Well, syempre, hindi ko naman kasi siya dream. Like, I mean, even when I was a kid, I've always been inclined to like some form of art or creating. Although hindi ako ganun kagaling mag-drawing. Sabi ko nga, it's more about the storytelling. So I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed creating websites and blogging. It was a way, I enjoyed it as a whole. I remember when I had a blog, syempre, you had to create parang the content we have now is so different from the content then. But it was very personal back then. But yung pinaka gusto kong part doon was actually creating the website, creating the graphics, the layout of the website, coding. I used to do coding, and yung final output and the process also. Hindi ako natutulog, but it was so nourishing. Bata pa kasi tayo nun. So it was so fun. And then by that time, sabi ko, parang pwede na ako maging, I also like writing. So I would
Candy Magazine.
Yeah, I used to work in Summit, diba? Parang I like doing interviews. I thought I was gonna be in publishing or being a journalist. That's always been parang at the top of the, so more than theater. So when I did music, kasi I actually enjoy watching musical theater and I like to sing. So that's parang one of the talents, parang ganon. So it came together and I enjoyed it. Hindi ko in-expect na matutuwa ako then, and then I really got so passionate into it. I learned more about the art, the need for good art at that time. Like, it expanded everything. But syempre, I also know na it's not going to be a career for me. Like, I just knew. The one thing I just knew. You just know. Like, I wanted to be still immersed in the world, but probably not as a professional actress. I mean, I would want to try it, pero hindi yung, kasi I have friends there and I have good friends in the industry and next level sila. And the discipline behind it is kind of like, in a way, para ka na rin nag-law school in a certain level. But it was more the struggle. There's a part of me that wanted to be a lawyer. And it was really more about kind of navigating my options also at that time and seeing how it goes. Hindi naman kasi rin ako very rigid about it. Parang I knew I had the capacity to enter all these fields. Parang not knowing myself. Di ko lang alam mag-survive ako, but I did and I survived. And after nun, parang after ko mag-law school and I became a lawyer, I had a lot of IP electives back then kasi interested na nga ako sa IP even during law school kasi parang, as a creative. And I was in law school, I was part of a band. So andun pa rin
You were part of a band? Law
Yeah.
school?
Oo, with my law school friends. So we did...
When?
Di ba alam? Di ba kita na-invite?
Hindi.
Nung mga third year, fourth year. So there's
wala na ako nun.
that's right. So there's obviously sa lahat ng orgs na pwede kong salihin, I wanted
Sino kasama mo dun?
si George, si Merce then who's my partner
Really?
now, si CP who's the drummer, Enzo who's our bassist. So they're all lawyers kami lahat. Very good
What did
careers
you
for
play?
each. I would sing.
You would sing?
I would be a singer, di ba? So, sa lahat ng, sabi ko, I mean, I did so much orgs back in college. I was part of the Council of Organizations of Ateneo. So parang, I was part. So nung law school, nag-chill muna ako with the extracurricular. Pero sabi ko, if I had to join an extracurricular, I wanted it to be art-related or fun, hindi yung legal. So, I joined Forte, which was like the parang musical, or hindi siya musical theater. Ano ba? Music org. Kasi may band, may singing, performing. And it was so fun. Yun. So parang like with that, it's always gonna be part of me. Parang I think hahanap-hanapin ko rin yung performing aspect or art aspect in all stages of my life. So hindi siya mawawala, I think. And even if and now na I get to do what I do now and develop it more, mas empowering din siya kasi I get to connect with creatives. I get to support people who want to be creative or who want, or actually maraming avenues na now eh. So I'm also learning and it excites and interests me as well kasi I feel like obviously I'm young, ay parang nasa younger-ish ka, but there's so much advantage to it as well kasi the world is changing.
Yes.
And there's so many things that have existed now than just a year ago. And I'm so into that. I've always been into technology and yung ganong aspect of it allows me to view and appreciate yung nuances of what modern creative industry is at this stage.
So, since you've mentioned nga na this is always going to be part of you, and I can see that then. And you haven't been acting in a long time.
Yeah.
Tapos, parang, is it safe to say ba na just so you're still part of that industry, you started producing na? Hindi naman
Hindi
siya...
ako producer, but show buyer. What the difference?
What's the difference?
No, show buyer is it's more like a commercial or parang, it's more like a business rather than, I would love to produce someday that kung meron man, I would love to do that. Sobrang busy ko lang ngayon with everything. I cannot do that now. Show buying is just it's like a supporting because the producers are also my friends. I've gotten to know them.
You mean you buy the rights?
No, not the rights. So just buy the show. You just buy the show. Parang the entire show.
The entire show?
The entire show lang. So it's a commercial business transaction lang.
Okay.
So wala akong artistic input.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's a commercial.
Have artistic.
Yes.
Okay, I did not know.
Yeah. So I would love to do that. Pero hindi ko lang siya magagawa now. Because that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Sounds like
It's a lot of work. So I have to do my work. So I would love to do that someday. Gosh, I really do. Marami pa akong mga ganyang like wish. Because I have producer clients. So minsan pag nag-uusap kami about work, mas gusto ko pang pag-usapan yung work nila. Kasi parang if I can, like it excites me more than the legal aspect of it. Kasi parang, okay, yes, that's done. But like, tell me more about anong gagawin nyo dito? How will you interpret this? How it's gonna... Those things, na-realize ko talaga, it still excites me so much. And parang there's that parang na, I wish I could be part of this. Kasi I can already see it and I trust that producer so well kasi ang galing niya, in my opinion. So like, imagine if ganun na lang yung head ko. Like, imagine if these things could happen. So, ganon. So, it's a way for me to also be part of that world and yung enough na reward na yun for me, actually.
Yeah.
To feel that excitement na parang kinikilig ako na naririnig ko yung mga ideas niya and like mind blown lang ako kasi parang ang galing niya mag-isip. And those things kahit na hindi siya part ng work ko as their counsel or a consultant, whatever, ganyan. for me, parang nababayaran na ako because I get to be part of something even if wala naman akong artistic input. Minsan, hindi ko naiiwasan mag-comment and like share what I think kasi hingi naman nila. But for me, yung part rin na yun is already very rewarding.
And it's more immediate, ano? Like, kasi you have so many, sabi mo nga about, you go back to the fermented imagery that you brought up, di ba? Like, I think right now you have other priorities, like you're a mom.
Yes.
Di ba? And you're also the eldest daughter.
Yeah.
Di ba? And of course, our parents are aging din.
Yeah.
And, alam mo yun. And
Daming hats.
daming hats and daming kailangan unahin.
Yes.
So, and yun nga, as we get older, we're starting to realize na things are getting harder and harder.
Yes, ang hirap maging adult, no? College tayo. Hi.
No one warns you about it,
Yeah.
Diba? Hindi siya yung parang, ito, ipapasa na. It just happens na lang. And then, suddenly, your lives depend on you na, di ba?
Yeah.
Not just dun sa immediate family, pero like your law firm.
Oo, may mga pamilya din sila.
Dun.
May mga pamilya sila. It's very different kasi parang siya, it's more like business na rather than me just being a lawyer actually. Having a law firm means you're responsible for this business. You're also creating your own thing, your own system, your own way of doing things. And then having people buy into that vision kasi we try to do it, like the firm is also very different from a traditional firm. So, syempre, medyo, we're younger. So, because of that, we all have backgrounds in various institutions. Like may private practice. Like, ako matagal ako sa law firm ko before I started my own firm. And then, meron galing government, meron galing in parang corporate world. So, iba-ibang, we all know how these things work. Ibayin natin. We know kung ano yung ayaw namin doon. So, let's kind of do things differently. And we have done that. And it feels good, syempre, to be able to kind of have our own thing and create our own systems, which is very, very different from how traditional law firms work.
Okay. Ang ganda na nun eh.
Sorry.
I wanna talk to you about collecting.
Collecting.
Ayoko nang i-bring up yung topic of collecting. Parang I wanna talk to you about that in a different,
Different. Another topic?
Yeah, another topic. Kasi I don't want to sully yung perspective, yung thespian spirit mo with the collecting part. Parang I think it's too...
Well, kasi naman with collecting, honestly, I mean, hindi naman ako talaga I got immersed into the world not because of my interest, of me, personal interest. It was actually through my friends, through my husband, through his mentors, through my other mentors that are into art collecting. And these are like, syempre, the medyo older people who have been into that world. And then, I would appreciate paintings, but personally talaga, na-realize ko lang na iba rin, there's so many aspects of collecting. I think I'm not really an expert on that, honestly. I've talked to gallery owners. I've had clients then related to the field. So I have an idea, pero it's a different ball game then when it comes to collecting. Wala akong alam dun actually masyado.
I think you do.
In a way, pero
I think
hindi.
you do, pero I don't think you would explain it as passionately as you've explained your involvement with theater.
Yeah.
Yun nga, kasi iba yung twinkle mo pagdating sa topic na yun compared to
Collecting
lang di ba?
Kasi there's that parang economic business investment side that I'm slowly being exposed to, and I realize the value of it, especially now na parang I work also with estates. So parang, well, naintindihan ko yun. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung part that I really enjoyed about siguro kahit yung world ng collecting and visual arts and paintings and sculptures, art toys, I have my favorites also, and I have the stuff that I'm drawn to. Syempre, kanya-kanya yan. Mas interesado ako dun sa proseso nila, sa storya nila, sa kwento behind that painting. That's because yun lang are the things that drive me. So it's the narrative, it's the story, it's the artist's story. So minsan, and it allows me to look into the art so differently. Mas na-appreciate ko siya. And it's not because malaking value niya, I also get that part, so hindi ko siya dinidismiss. It's very important to the industry and to also the artist. But personally, me, kasi ganun talaga ako, I just enjoy learning about the artists. Pag nakakausap ko yung artist and tatanungin ko yung mga storya, like, ba't naisip gawin yan? Or like, what is in your head? Like, when I ask you also, what's the title of that? Kasi I kind of want to also have my own opinion of it and then get their story. This is just how my mind works, parang. And then parang kind of, parang ganun. And I want to form my own opinion also. And forming my own opinion, it's not because iba siya siguro kasi wala naman akong background on the technique. And so it's more about how yung impact niya, how it is to me, right? And learning from that, for me, mas may impact yun sa akin.
Actually, maganda yung sinabi mo.
I'm so passionate about it.
Hindi kasi, ito na nga yung, kasi I've been saying this repeatedly. The art forms, the processes are the same. The medium is different.
Yeah.
So, the output is different. Diba?
Yeah.
Pero, yung base niyan are the same. So, when you look at that artwork, what you just described to me was how you approach a play. Diba? A musical.
Yeah, oo nga.
Diba? It's the same thing.
Right.
Kasi you're looking at the base. You're looking at the spirit. Which in every art form, may it be song, may it be visual arts or
Story.
theater or film or a story,
Yeah.
a poem, diba? You look at the spirit. Siguro when you collect, as you've said, na you go behind.
Yes.
Kasi I've been talking din to collectors and gallery owners and nag-shift na yung nako-commodify yung mga bagay eh.
Yeah. I
Diba?
mean, human nature and how this world works, capitalism. and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yun nga. Kaya siguro I didn't want to bring up the topic. Pero since you mentioned it.
Okay lang.
Yeah,
That's a huge
it's
part of
the
what
same.
I do.
Yeah. So, it's also comforting to know na ganun yung pagtingin mo with the
Yeah.
artworks. Kasi I've interviewed si Kika Landang. I'll post the link din here sa comments. And ganun din yung thing niya. Na he goes inside the room without any expectations and he waits to be touched. Yun yung term niya. And yung kasi may aesthetic emotion involved yan. Like,
Yes.
like theater,
Tama.
diba?
Tama.
Sana ko dadalhin.
Right.
Diba? Sana ko dadalhin nung art form na to.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Mahirap yun to vet impact. I think, kasi ang daming noise no? Ang daming, like even for me, actually, sinasabi kong passionate ako, pero mahirap din, pero naintindihan ko yung ganong position to be able to have, kaya maraming artwork dyan, and then you wait for some artwork to kind of hit you, is such a powerful process. And I don't think every person who can consume this will be able to do that. Kasi ang dami ng noise eh. Even in the industry, even the most amazing collectors, even with all the resources or all yung marami ka na exposure and access to that. Ang dami kasing noise in the industry that are gonna kind of, or siguro kasi na-feel ko rin yun eh, na parang it can be social in nature, political in nature, commercial in nature, economic, na parang it clouds yourself na parang, ano pa talaga yung gusto mo? Diba? And because of that means, and that's why I think living that creative life is a part of kind of knowing yourself.
Yes.
Diba? And it's a process, hindi mo yun mapifeel na nakatayo ka lang sa isang room and absorbing everything eh. Kasi sobrang noisy eh. Sensory overload, diba? This is just based from my experience. So, kunyari, yung mag-aantay ako sa room, baka ilang tulog pa yun bago ko ma-realize kung ano yung mag-hit sa akin. And that's different because there's also other influences like economic value that will also be important. So, yung mga ganun, ano talaga, dun ko na-feel yung my getting to know myself na like, okay, I really am in a position where yes, I can understand everything, but it doesn't make it any easier for me to decide. Yun.
Oh. So that, my friends, is the reason why kailangan dapat may creative background yung mga guests natin. That was beautiful. When I floated the idea of this art podcast, a lot of friends were asking how they could support. The easiest way is to hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's just one click, but it will do wonders for Studio Maya. So please subscribe, and we will work very, very hard in improving our set. Thank you. So now we go to the law part. May kodigo ako kasi this is the law. I need to make sure na I ask the right questions.
Yung terms?
The terms, I need to make sure that the terms are correct. You've been going back and forth about this, kung ano yung mga i-cover na topics. Ano. So this is more on an educational part na, on intellectual property.
Yeah.
Ano? Pagdating sa visual arts, and then I'm talking from experience. Kasi when we were going back and forth with our notes, iniisip ko na ano yung mga issues sa creative industry, particularly sa visual arts, since this is a visual arts podcast.
Yeah.
Yung tanong is, ano ba talaga ibig sabihin ng intellectual property? And when does something become protected? Ano ba siya in general? Ano ba yung pinag-aawayan namin here?
Okay. It sounds abstract, but I think it's easier for artists to understand it actually. Kasi when you talk about intellectual properties as differentiated to kunyari like real estate property or personal property, real estate property yung bahay mo, lupa mo, and then like personal property yung kotse mo, yung mga jewelry mo, ganyan, for example, like that. Intellectual property is a product of your mind. So what you're protecting here is a creation of what you've been, it's intangible, hindi mo siya parang makahawakan talaga. Like, it's there. So, and what is relevant, at least the legal term particularly, the particular IP, because there are different kinds of IP, for visual arts especially, is copyright. So, yeah, copyright. That's the intellectual property relevant to, I guess, this discussion. And what it protects is the expression. So, yung pinaka-importanting, I guess, dichotomy dyan is like the idea-expression dichotomy, because we can have an idea that is which is not protected by copyright, so that's different. And then the expression is the one that you kind of that is protected. So, for example, in kunyari, the idea can be a subject matter. For example, like mother and daughter, yung mga usual maraming paintings about mother-daughter, diba? And that's the idea. But the expression is the actual expression of that idea. So this can be yung this will compose of like how you've kind of the artistic or literary part of it. So yung the way how it's expressed. So it can be yung color, plus the pattern, plus the layout, plus the how you've managed to create something out of that idea. So that is what you protect. So in the law, may listahan yan. So that includes yung mga obviously paintings, sculptures, photos, stories. There's a long list, and it's original artistic literary creations. Parang that's just a broad term that you use. So for visual artists, for your paintings, your sculptures, your art toys, or kung ano man, covers, yung art, the pictures, the photography, the painting, all these form what we call an artistic creation, which is protected by copyright. So that is what you protect. And dyan syempre papasok yung original works. Syempre, that's it has to be an original creation. So, what's siguro complicated kasi about copyright is that when we think of copyright, there are so many rights attached to it. So, hindi lang siya, kunyari, gumawa ka ng, it's what the, I guess, lawyers call a bundle of rights. So, it's not just, it's just not the right for you to prevent someone to actually copy it. So, gumawa ka ng painting and you have the right na walang gagaya nito. Parang ganon. But it's not just that. It's a lot of rights. So, you also have the right for it not to be distributed, not to be presented publicly, not to be adapted into anything, not to be put in a bag.
So,
Lahat yun are part of copyright.
how would you know if sa'yo talaga yan?
What do you mean?
Like, for example, that painting, di ba? So, let's say, kasi you're protected by copyright laws na wag siyang kopyahin or gumawa ng something that would look similar to that. Tama ba?
Yeah.
Tama ba?
And that's why ito yung parang challenge and I guess, the difficulty of IP, particularly in copyright, is there's no parang one clear test that you can apply to everything to know na, kinopya yan. Hindi siya mayari niyan. Ginaya niya si ganyan. It's always at least especially for legal, it's always going to be factual, case-to-case kind of analysis. Even kahit sa law, even if there might be like some criteria both in the rules or in case law or jurisprudence, hindi siya one line fits all, parang ganon. It's always going to be fact and evidence based, and that makes it that's why there's some caution that, and kind of like parang you have to tread lightly and not just react. Kasi meron yan yung parang an emotional response to it. That's different from a legal response. Kasi parang parang minsan may makita ka, shit, kinaya niya si ganyan. And that's your emotions thinking because of something. But legally, it's much more narrow and nuanced. It's always going to be evidence and fact-based. And later, siguro, I can talk to you about the evidence that you would need in the process. But for now, hindi siya, parang walang one clear test.
Sige, we'll go back to that. Kasi yung alam ko din with copy, kasi may I think may tatlong versions din of parang protecting what you own, di ba? Like, yung one is copyright, yung second is the trademark.
Okay.
Pero, and then may
Iba yun
third one pa. Yeah. Pero,
Patent.
Yung patent yung third one, di ba?
Yeah.
So, very briefly lang, we'll dissect lang kung ano yun. Pero I wanna focus on copyright.
Yes.
Kasi
Yun talaga importante.
Importante talaga, ano. So, ano lang yung difference? Very briefly, ano yung difference ng tatlo?
Yeah, kasi I really want to try to make this as practical and not as technical as possible din eh.
Yeah.
So, well, trademark, simple lang naman siya. Parang yun yung brand name mo. It's what you use to identify your service or your product. So, kunyari ikaw, Studio Maya, that's a trademark because that's your brand for this podcast. Kunyari, a gallery has their gallery name, that's a trademark. So, it's just, your logo is a trademark. Yung tagline mo, kung meron kang unique tagline, is a trademark. So, that's very separate from, it's not about the artistic work. So, it's used to identify a good or service. So, i-register, but it's also very important and valuable. So, but that's separate. Yung patent naman, and or industrial design, yan, this treads more on inventions, like the kind of like improvements. So it has a more functional aspect to it. So it's an entirely different thing. So there's a technical level to it also. So usually yung mga into patents are those with engineering, chemical background, and or architects also. Parang may mga design backgrounds, I mean. So they have their own IP. And then we also have parang like a trade secret. A trade secret is like, so you don't disclose it to the public. So it's your IP to protect it to yourself. So it's most likely a formula. It's mostly governed by contract law. So kunyari yung ano ba yung mga sikat na trade secret would be like the KFC or spice mix, parang ganun, or like the Coca-Cola formula. Those are trade secrets. So
Or pharmaceuticals ba?
or some like all those may mga kanya-kanya silang domain, but specifically for, I guess, for art, ito talaga yung copyright talaga, and it's actually for me not as easy as to comprehend as possible kasi layers talaga siya, dahil sabi ko nga sa'yo, maraming rights involved in it. So hindi lang siya parang your right to prevent someone from copying you. Especially now in this new world, it's even more muddled. Yung rights that come with an original artwork or a new artwork, kanyan.
So, dun sa copyright part, dun muna tayo sa contests. Kasi maraming like art competitions.
Art competition. Okay.
Oo. So, kasi minsan dun nanggagaling yung issues eh.
Right, okay.
Kasi now, marami ng yung process ng paggawa ng art, kasama na yung photo references.
Yeah, oo.
Diba?
Oo.
So, ano yung fine line between copying something na nagiging siyang illegal and ano yung safe na pwede gawin to prevent those things? Kasi, I'm trying to organize
yes,
it.
Oo. So, we're talking about yung photo reference, diba?
Yeah.
So, I understand kasi what's with how it is right now, parang you can be easily referenced by anything naman, that's just part of the work. So when it comes to yung photograph na yun, that has its own copyright.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it has own copyright,
yes.
right? That yung reference dyan is sort of like a challenge to the artist on how they're going to reference it or be inspired by the art, by the photo, I mean. So I assume that, well, depending on kung wala mang contract yung contest or like we don't see anything, there's no rule na parang okay, may guidelines on how much you are going to reference this, then I guess it's up to the artist to kind of build an artwork from that. What happens is normally, because ang pinaka-importante kasi with the term copying is it doesn't have to be exactly the same, diba?
Yeah.
There's you can kind of when it comes to case law or jurisprudence, hindi mo kailangan you have to copy exactly. A substantial portion of it is enough to say that you've copied it illegally. So there's no fine line. Yeah, it's always going to be a case-to-case basis. Hindi ko siya masabi na yung head niya nakaganyan. But for me, what I always try to kind of like as a foundation, when you look into a picture, for me, kunyari, I'm going to try to reference it. Especially if you're an artist, you kind of have an idea already on what is usually protected here. It's not, kunyari, picture yan ng, let's see, a dog. Let's see a picture of a dog. Obviously, it's not the dog. Copying a dog is, it's hindi yun yung protected element. The protected element is everything behind it. The lighting, the angle, the layout, the creative decision of the photographer to put the dog in this section with the sun there, and then may konting shadow. Alam mo yun, it's that detailed. Those form part of what we call protected expression. So, it's not the subject matter. Yun yung sinasabi ko na parang hindi siya dahil you can't draw a dog anymore. So, if you, kunyari, yun gagawin mong painting, for example, the picture of a dog gagawin mong painting, it's not parang a hard rule to say na, kunyari, ginaya mo siya exactly, then that's infringement. I'm not saying it's infringement or not, but ideally, if you just change the medium, hindi ibig sabihin pwede na yun. So, you still have to incorporate your own version of it that's not the same as that. So, and that's fact-driven. Hindi ko siya ma-explain in a way na parang, what do you mean? It's more on trying to analyze the differences, and that it's enough creativity, originality into your product as the one who kind of referenced it, that doesn't make it na parang ginaya mo lang yun, or like it's the same exact thing. Walang hard line, walang hard standard to it. And that's why kung ako yung artist and binigyan ako photograph, I suggest you think something very different from what you see. But that's the challenge, I guess. Hindi ko yun masasabi kasi hindi naman it's a case-to-case basis. But if you're a true artist, hindi mo yun obviously gagayahin. You interpret it, you put your own self into it, that your own technique, and that means kung ano man yung it's a combination of different processes, diba? So kung ano man yung style mo, ano yung colors na gamitin mo, layout na gagamitin mo, yung kind of all these things combined together can create your own version of separate sa ni-reference mo.
So, let's go back to the dog. Paano kung photo hyperrealism yung niya, yung style niya? And syempre, pag hyperrealism, photo, yun eh. Diba? It looks like a photograph.
Yun. I won't say, I don't wanna judge. Syempre, it's a case to case. I would say that's not safe.
That's not safe. Kumbaga, delikado yan.
Yes, delikado yan.
What if, kasi, diba, may mga styles na photo transfers, diba? So, mag-photo transfer ako, the photo of the dog again. Photo transfer ko sa canvas. Tapos, nag-drawing ako ng lalaking umiihi sa tabi.
It still depends. Hindi ko rin I think that's slightly better, but yung always my advice sa mga gagawa ng ganyan is to get permission, but from the original creator of the work. But if it's a photo of a dog, like dun mo makikita yung yung layers yan, like who really owns that dog? That picture of the dog, not the real dog. Real dog. A picture of the dog. Kung stock photography yan, you have to look at the license, you have to look at the platform. Yun yung mga levels na titingnan mo rin at that stage as a lawyer. But gets ko yung sinabi mo, like if you add something, I would never say na that's okay. It really still depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ganito, different naman with the dog. Just so we can illustrate it with
Okay lang.
with people watching. So let's use this painting as an example. Kinuha ko yung photo ng dog from the internet, and then I Photoshop it, tinanggal ko yung background, I get the dog, and then I place it here.
Mm-hmm.
With all these elements. Is it safer?
No. In a way, yes. Parang, but...
Pero, so what you're saying is, pagdating sa copyright, yung subject itself, kailangan ma-convert mo really?
Actually, kung picture na, kasi yung dog lang mismo.
Yeah.
I would not clearly say pwede yun. But like, it's a higher chance. Kasi kung dog lang talaga, like, it can be any other dog, right?
Like the dog na we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, kasi actually, when you think about it, kung ano man yung kinuha mo or ni-reference mo, if you have to look at the protected elements that form part of it. So it's not anymore a photograph. It's just the subject matter, right?
Yeah.
So that's the argument there that makes it a strong...
and it becomes part of the whole thing.
Exactly.
Diba?
So
Pero
now you realize
it
everything.
still looks like the dog that's protected by the copyright.
Yeah. It's a matter of argument rin. I would say that parang in my head, definitely the risk there is a lot less.
Yeah.
The risk there is a lot less if it's just the actual dog. And then, syempre you have to go through if it's from the internet, baka someone owns it, or like my license to, like, it's all governed by certain layers of contract na parang you shouldn't print it without their consent. May mga ganon eh. So if you kunyari get the rights na you can use it, kasi marami rin naman ganon, like a stock photography.
Yeah, marami naman yan.
Maraming ganon, then that's okay. So it's mostly, yun yung sinasabi kong level of caution na like as an artist, you have to look into, you have to consider na para, okay, siguro kung makita ka ng dog sa daan, then syempre ibang usapan yun. But if it's like a photo or kinuha mo sa Instagram lang, picture ng dog, then although you can say that the risk is low because sino ba makakakita nito na sino mga ganon.
Yeah.
Like people think that way.
Yeah.
It can kasi lessen the overall value of your work. And that's if you have, again, papasok dito yung long-term goal mo of your work. If it's syempre, you're gonna put it lang naman sa bahay mo, you can do what you want. And dyan yung mga parang fair use, diba? Like parang, ikaw lang na baka-enjoy niyan, that's okay. But if you have long-term goal of starting your own gallery, selling this in abroad, putting it as an NFT, mga ganon, like as a logo or whatever, then you have to tread cautiously. And every layer of inspiration should be guided. Hindi ka pwedeng consumed lang by the need to create an output, especially if you're getting or being inspired by something.
Yung isa pang kasi, so malinaw yan we're telling our viewers na there are ways to be very safe about it.
Yes.
And then, sa online kasi, if you just Google stuff, nakalagay naman yun sa Google kung ano yung uses na pwede to eh.
Yeah.
And there are,
Yeah.
and then we're just saying this para safe tayo when we use photo references. Kasi we can do our own naman with pictures, diba?
I know, and with AI now,
AI.
it's...
Yung pa, mamaya. Pero yun nga, yung pexels.com, that's where I get my photo references. Those are public,
Yes. See, that,
for the public.
yeah.
Yeah, so maraming ways to be safe about it. And there are, yung pexels are really, really good photos.
yes. Oo.
Na nasa public domain siya. And yun nga, I just want to be thorough about this copyright thing. So, let's use Nina's painting again as an example. Kasi yung nagkakatalo with, like, for example, painting competitions, na they're not exactly the same, pero they're similar. Like,
Yeah.
for example, this one with Nina, ganito yung style niya and dito din yung color scheme. Meron isang painting na mananalo sa isang competition na ganito yung composition, iba yung colors, iba yung style na ginamit, and pero ganun siya. There's this awkward hands on the skirt
Yeah.
with the heels and stuff, diba? I mean, they look similar, they feel similar,
Yeah.
pero alam mo yun, parang, what is your opinion about stuff like that?
I understand. Kasi na-feel ko na rin naman yan eh. You know, as someone who goes into galleries, meets artists, and go into the art fairs, I get that emotional feeling and response eh. So, naiintindihan ko siya. And that's also part of human nature and art consumption, di ba? And ang difference kasi is like the difference there when we talk about the legal aspect and if we're really going to contest, kasi pwede mo sabihin, yes, they're similar. But legally, parang it's so much more nuanced. Kasi dun papasok yung, sabi ko sa wala talagang test. May konting parang checklist, but we interpret it in a case-to-case basis kasi it's really evidence-based. So for me, one of the things I would look into, for example, kailangan ko silang i-assess if it's similar or not, is really the history. One, yung process. Like, your original sketch. Like, dito papasok yung sinasabi kong evidence-based and something that I encourage my...
Yung provenance, iba pa yun.
Iba pa yun. Iba pa yung provenance. But this is more the artistic process. Yung
Oh.
process mo.
Oh.
Kasi when you establish copyright, you have obviously to know if you created it. And there should be, yes, you can have it registered. It's not mandatory. So maybe I'll talk about that later. But copyright kasi vests upon creation. So once you created your work, you already own
have
the
it.
copyright.
Okay.
Hindi mo kailangan i-register. Mali yung hindi kailangan. Hindi mandatory to register. Okay, so mali yun.
Hindi mandatory.
Hindi mandatory
So,
registration.
once you create the artwork,
Yeah.
you are already protected by copyrights,
Yes.
but the registration is not mandatory.
Yeah, registration is not mandatory. But it is very, very helpful. There's such a big advantage to registration and I would always push for it. But as a IP lawyer with an entertainment creative art appreciation and background, I always talk to the artist na I need to know your goal and strategy. Kasi syempre their expenses, their budget, their documentation. So, I have to understand kung ano yung goals ng client ko or the artist. And it's a partnership. So, and then that's when I recommend what you need to prioritize to register and whatnot. Kasi registration is very helpful, obviously, as proof of ownership. So, you have like a certificate na parang pag may, and if you want to go through a more commercial or transactional kind of position or goal in the long run, having that is especially beneficial. And that's one, proof of ownership. And then second, it's also for enforcement. So, proof kasi siya, it's part of documentation. Akin yan, may gumaya, oh, I have this. So, having that adds a layer of value. And for commercial transactions, laging hinahanap yan. For example, if you want to license it, distribute it, I say this kasi like I work with producers, with global, negotiating contracts for global entities. Hahanapin nila. Kasi sa US, iba yung rules nila eh. So sabi nila, oh, patingin ng copyright certificate mo. So, although hindi siya required, having that ultimately increases your value, your credibility, your reputation even. So, if you can, I suggest consider it. Yeah.
How do you register?
Super simple lang. It's their IPO. They have a what you call a deposit or copyright office. So there's just a form. May bayad.
So pupunta ka sa IPO?
Now
Ba't
pwede
ba
na online. Yeah. Oo, pwede na
So
online.
pupunta ka na sa IPO.ph, gano'n?
IPOFIL.
IPOFIL?
Yeah, may forms na doon. You can download it. So there's I forgot kung ano basta may forms section in their menu, and then nakalagay doon copyright forms, and then you just fill out the forms. You can send it via ewan ko kung now you can use it parang dati kasi pwedeng USB deposit. You give a copy, so pwede na rin online. So pictures of your work and then
So each work, one form, gano'n?
pwedeng may bulk up to may bulk registration naman na pwede
yun
per type. So mas may para makatipid ka. Yeah. So that's hindi naman hindi siya mahirap na proseso.
Yeah.
So you can do that. And so yun yung sinasabi kong what I'll look for, kunyari back to your opinion. So is to establish yung one ownership, diba? But to establish that apart from the registration is to look into evidence that like yung mga previous works. Doon mo compare. It sounds simple but it's not, kasi it's art. So it's very subjective in a way, and you have to have that level of technique or eye. Pero that's just one of it. So yung to check mo yung mga luma niyang works, how it has evolved, and kind of like that's just part of it. You can look at yung mga sketches, if it's digital, timestamp, mga ganun, para makita mo na it's telling technically a story na, no, this concept, I've been doing this long. That's, you have to kind of put it all together. So ako, kung may makita kong similar, I would look at their past works. Saan ba sila, kung saan gallery sila. Like look into paano sila, like how they are, can kind of see each other or the kind of audience. Ganun siya ka-layered. And hindi siya simpleng bagay to say legally parang emotionally you can just say no, pareho yan in your gut feel, diba? And that's okay. But syempre legally, if you want to contest it and you want to say na, oh, this person talagang ginaya or in-infringe ako, then it's a battle of evidence and factual record. And it can be, syempre, mas madetalye yan that will include ideally getting a counsel and a lawyer to help you make your evidence there. Yun yung sinasabi ko ring strategy with my clients right now na parang, yes, there's that legal side, but it's also important to have that kahit na hindi ka pa ina-accuse na nangopia or something, is to kind of have that parang documentation. So I say to my clients na video mo na gumagawa ka ng work. I would always suggest kung nagpe-paint ka, mag-video ka, uso na ngayon yung behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
that's also a huge part of like something.
And it's content na rin eh.
It's also content. So it's something that I have been advising artists to have witnesses that you're there, that this is your style, your journey towards it, yung mga sketch mo, yung mga lumang works mo, para makita nila how you've developed this. Not that will show it, pero it will help. Diba? So, for every artist there, I suggest you document your process. It's not naman everything, but keep it. You don't have to show it. So it's evidence eh. So kung meron kang kinuhang references, you check when you got it. You document it, put timestamps in your work. For my digital artist, they've been doing it. I think most people do it now. Pero take pictures of your work in the process, in the middle of it. Make it part of your kind of the part of the portfolio na rin eh. Yeah, so it's extra work, but you never know. It's better to have that already kasi mas madali na rin naman ngayon eh.
Yung advice nun, narinig nyo yun So hindi lang siya pang Instagram. Actually, very very practical na pala siya. So hindi lang siya, kasi for me, hindi ko ginagawa kasi hindi naman ako nagpo-post eh.
Yeah.
Diba parang pag nakakita ko online, wow, vain naman ito. Yung pala may legal thing na. Okay, so I'll start doing that na rin.
Punch talaga nagpe-paint pala talaga siya. Kasi diba, I mean mababaw yun, diba? Kasi kilala. But like, just,
my God.
Diba? Importante yun.
Importante pala siya.
Yes.
Sorry sa mga ginudge ko. Di ba ito swirl na rin? Turn it into content. I'm just thinking out loud.
That's a separate, thing to talk about. Idea. That's part of that's your part of your business and commercial goal that I also advise my clients with. Kasi may layers of protection din dyan eh. Yun din yung sinasabi ko na everything you put online, there's some level of risk there. So, you should know what you're getting into. Pero yung, for purposes of documentation, I really suggest to document your work, your process.
Yung mga sketches ko hindi ba anyway.
Ayun, yun. Huwag mo itapon.
Huh?
Huwag mo itapon para makita nila na...
Kung hindi ko gusto, alam mo yun.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Alam naman kasi pag hindi ko gusto, di ba? Ayoko itago eh. Ayoko may makakitang iba. Ayoko hindi tinatago, di ba?
Yeah, I mean, marami na rin kasi yung, I think, mas madali na rin naman kasi, hindi pwede mo na itapon, but at least may picture ka.
Ayoko nga may ebidensya na may ginawa akong pangit eh.
Yeah, it's up to you. Hindi naman kailangan every sketch, diba?
Yeah,
But,
sure.
yung process lang in general, to show na, this style has been with me since this age. And ikaw, alam ko yung style mo. So, nakita ko na yan, how it has evolved also. So, and syempre, mag-iiba pa yung style mo. And that's part of the narrative also, diba? But to lang ensure for practical purposes, alam mo na, this is mine. Or this is my original expression. Yun.
Si Stephen King doesn't keep eh. Pero anyway, sinasabi ko na, that's where I got that idea.
Ibang world kasi yung time na yun eh. There was no Stephen King at that time.
Yeah. So, let's go to, since we're talking about copyright and references pa, let's brush through lang. Kasi ito, we can go on a whole episode about this AI.
Okay, oo.
So, let's brush through lang.
Sige.
Kung ano yung mga... Kasi for me, I strongly believe that there should be an AI etiquette.
Yeah.
And a lot of people kasi are composing na through that, and then they just copy.
Generative AI.
Yeah, yung generative AI. So, just very, 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 brief. Ano yung mga acceptable for you as a IP lawyer by your standards na pwede gamitin yung AI and that would be acceptable to the creative industry in terms of yung mga moral values of it?
Syempre, sobrang hot topic ng AI. And
Yes.
I would consider myself a power AI user. So, I do. But I don't use it for making art or generative art. So, that's a difference. But I've always been into technology. So, ever since I was a kid, basta mahilig na talaga ako. I like getting to... I have... parang for me kasi, in order to judge something, you have to really learn it.
Yeah.
Parang to say na, pangit to, you have to understand it. So, I made it my mission to really understand it because I also enjoy understanding it. So, but there's so much to it that I also still don't understand. So, may ganung, parang minsan, it's weird with AI. Parang it can take me into a whole level of wow, and then also to a very dark place. So, parang it's also kind of extreme. Parang, oh shit, parang it's so bleak. And then at the same time, parang, I kind of spin it na parang, but also there's this. So in terms of artistic works, one, it's evolving yung AI now. There's no law for it specifically right now addressing AI. Other jurisdictions, mean global, may mga nagsastart na, there's already rules, and so that's good. So, naman here, late tayo to put it very, very bluntly. So, for me, with AI, it doesn't, kasi parang, even if AI exists, IP and our laws and our practice will still apply to it, can still apply to it. So, it doesn't mean na wala nang, parang just because it's AI, okay na, like it's completely cut off, diba, or something. But unfortunately, what makes AI complicated is dumadagdag lang yung questions that you need to address before you, parang yung layers dati, kunyari, if you post your artwork to Instagram or YouTube, you only have to look at platform licenses and yung mga ganon, diba? And other contracts, if ever, that are involved. But with AI, parang yung layer is so much more. So parang for me, you have to look which part of who owns this, anong part dito yung machine generated, ilan dito yung parang ilang percentage yung human creative input here. There's that question and like checkbox that you have to look into. Parang which part is, there's so many elements to it that makes it very, very difficult to assess if it's parang not infringing or not, or okay lang, or public access siya, parang ganun. So, pinahirapan lang yung trabaho talaga ng mga tao in a way to analyze if it's, and syempre, there's that part na I also understand how frustrating it is, especially if, yung work mo somehow becomes part of it. And for me, because we have this reality, then for artists, creators, business owners, then it's even more important to layer your protection and knowledge at the start. So before you put your work out there or enter into transaction through contract or anything, kailangan mo siyang aralin. Hindi siya papasok sa machine learning. Your work cannot be displayed. Those things that you have to, pasok na siya sa checklist mo when you're making transactions, licensing it, making it, selling it. Yung mga ganong, kailangan mo na siyang nasa isip mo, will it be used in this way? Will it be uploaded in this way? Yung mga ganong bagay, kailangan mo siyang, kailangan mo isipin. And if you have someone who can help you with that, better. Kasi, minsan, with artists, they get especially excited about opportunities that they fail to, usually kasi mga ganyang bagay, they get, natatago siya sa mga broad clauses sa kontrata, sa platforms, sa licenses. Hindi nila nakikita. So, with the fact that things can evolve at this point with digital platforms, social media, and the rising use of LLM models, LM and AI, wala na, parang free for all, mukhang free for all na lahat. So, yung instead of, for me, yung advice ko lang doon, start early na before you put it anywhere else, at least sana for visual arts, make sure na you have the protections in place. Kasi, ang maganda rin kasi with AI, through AI, madali mo ring hanapin who has been infringing you. I've done that. So,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, wala pa sa enforcement, but yes, I've reversed AI stuff to know. Power AI user. So, it kind of, it has made it also easy for me. Not naman easy, pero parang, na-amaze din ako with how, I'm not saying na yung result nun is 100% accurate. There's still a process to that, verification and all that. Pero like, I'm kind of amazed na we got there, na parang it's easier to look for people for similarity. It's just a tool. I mean, that's how I use AI kasi in my life as a tool.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
As it should be.
as it should be, diba? So, obviously, don't create artwork from it. Na artwork for fun, I guess, like to like internal use, and that I've done that. So, but not when it comes to like a commercial value or ganyan. So, hindi ko ben. There's a lot of there should be definitely a policy for AI etiquette, AI use. And mag-evolve lang yun kasi, AI is evolving. Di mo na siya ma-grasp. Kahit ako na parang akala ko alam ko, now there's this new model, a new thing. So now there's a moving back to analog na, di ba? So,
Yeah.
which is great. It's great.
Hindi siya yun nga eh. Si Ben kanina, di ba? Yung nostalgia themes ngayon are picking up because of, yun nga, lahat na lang pare-pareho na yung boses sa reels, yung di ba? Parang pare-pareho na lang lahat, di ba? So,
hindi ko rin kaya mag-consume kasi ng ganun eh. Like personally, it's, I don't find it interesting anymore. Hindi siya, but kanya-kanya lang yun, I guess. So like, I also understand its value. I mean, I do marketing for our firm, so I understand creating content and all those things. So, wala namang, I enjoy creating content, but yung scrolling through content, dun ako parang hard stuff. Parang I'd rather watch long form stuff than yung mga short form.
We brushed through it. This is a whole topic kasi. Mahaba to. Ang dami kong tanong about it. Pero let's not go over it here. Actually, ang dami pang pwedeng itanong. Pero we're going towards the end of our interview. And we're talking about rights lang naman.
Yeah.
So, yung isang right pa na gusto kong pag-usapan here, two more things. So, when the client buys your artwork, ano yung rights doon na nasa client na, and ano yung rights na nasa artist pa? Ito, I'm going to clarify lang I am not talking about yung payments.
Yeah.
Like, if rinisell niya, magkano yung mapupunta sa artist, we're not talking about those amounts. We're talking about lang yung copyright value na kung ano yung extent na pwede nila gamitin for what, for whom, or for, alam mo yun. So, more on dun lang sa part na yun. Again, we're not talking about yung monetary aspect ng reselling price niya. That is a whole new conversation, and we will cover that. We will cover that in another episode with the right person. I'm finding but the right one who can who can walk us through that. Pero for now, so client buys my work. To what extent can my client can my client use that work?
Okay, so yung general rule is, if I have the artwork and someone buys, for example, a painting, I created the painting, binenta ko sa'yo, the physical object, which is the painting, is separate from the copyright. So,
the what?
The physical painting, the actual object na binili mo sa akin, so yung painting ko na binili mo sa akin, sa'yo na yun. You can do whatever you want. You can do what you want with it as mandated by law. And then, yung copyright is still retained by me unless there's an explicit agreement na you can have certain rights. So, ang lagi kong ine-emphasize dyan para malinaw, as the author of the work, the creator of the work, I own the copyright. So, I have all the bundle of rights, meaning I still have the right to not let anyone copy it, not let anyone license it, not let anyone put it in a public forum, mga ganon. So all those rights, I still keep as the author of the work. And then, but you have the painting and you can enjoy it as much as you want, unless there's a contract saying na, okay, I also give you the right to, sige, you can display it in kunyari, a small gallery for your personal, like there's that. Or yes, you can use it as your logo. Example.
Really?
Yeah, but it has to be in right. Parang may
It has to be in writing.
writing, yeah. So parang like there should be an agreement, nagkakaintindihan ka, and that affects the value of the work. Kasi I'm giving you certain rights. Kaya kung gusto mo, you can put it in a tote bag or in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yung artwork ko, that's a separate right. Pero kung wala kayong agreement to that, akin lang yun. Hindi mo pwede gawin yun. So, it's very different. So, yun yung kailangan malinaw because copyright involves a lot of rights. Then, clarity of rights ownership, kung sinong may-ari ng right na yun, is very important dun sa transaction. So, kailan pag-usapan yun? And if may third party pa, may gallery pa, then it's a different thing pa. So, or may broker kayo or something, minsan may mga middleman kasi, di ba? Then they might have other rights. Yung author might have given them other rights, and then he might have another rights agreement with you. So it's important that everything is clear.
Broker, so ibig sabihin,
Yeah.
pare kumuha ako ng salesperson who would sell my works.
You can
Kailangan, din, in writing, explicit yung limitations niya?
hindi siya kailangan na parang required, but it would be better kasi para lang alam niya kung ano yung binibenta niya. Or like, oh, it's just a painting.
Okay.
So all of the rights are here. Then if you want another tactic also is to negotiate the rights. So I've also done that na parang, okay, you can, you have parang, mostly license rights. So, yan, pwede mong ilagay yun. But that has a value to it. So mas malaki yung value nung binibenta mo. It's not just the painting. So, but general rule, copyright is separate from the physical object.
So the artist still owns the rights if the painting was bought, di ba?
Yeah.
So ibig sabihin niyan is if you buy my artwork, you can't turn it into a merchandise, a merch or something na you can make money out of.
Yeah. Just one, isa lang yun Another one is to create a derivative work. Ito yung isa sa mga parang unique aspects of it. Derivative work is parang, it's like you create something from parang based on this, diba? So you can add a layer to it. That can be form a derivative work because a derivative work has its own copyright. Because it's technically a new thing, diba? It's a new work. It's not exactly the same, but you based it off from that. So this can be kunyari for a movie, yung adaptation of a particular movie that's like a derivative work. So iniba nila yung setting, nilagay nila kunyari a setting niya Earth and then next ginawa niyang Mars. So that's a derivative work. Example, but same, the characters are the same. So those are layers. So for paint, but that's with movies kasi and screenplay, there are even more rights like sound rights, production, like may ganyan. But for visual, kunyari ginawa niyang sculpture. Yung painting mo of that's a derivative work. Pero it's the same, di ba? So you also cannot prevent that person from making a derivative work unless you license. Okay, sige, for compensation or kahit free, but your authorization. So that's also okay. So minsan kasi para ang nangyayari mga tao, because credit ko, this was based on Pancho's work. Okay na, hindi. Diba?
Yun nga, that's my question. So citation is not enough.
No, it's not. I mean, it's honesty and transparency. So that kind of counts for something. And
Napaka inspired by your work.
Oo.
Hindi. You need to get the permission.
Yes.
And put
When in doubt, get permission. Especially if you're going to publicly display. Pag sa bahay mo lang, then okay lang. Kung kunyari, yung friends mo na yung makakita, you can kind of like say it can fall under personal fair use, ganyan. But if you're going to publicly display it on social media or the internet, where it can be accessed by anyone, then that's a different ball game, diba? So when in doubt, if for anyone trying to be inspired or created by, then I suggest na just get permission if you're not sure.
So paano yung mga photo manipulators? Yun yung medium nila.
Yes.
Kasi di ba they get photos from where they get photos. Tapos, so hindi enough na you cite na these are the photo references na dito galing yung manipulations. Hindi enough yun.
I mean, syempre, marami siyang parang lenses to see. Hahabulin ka ba? Is there, may ganun. So like, how are you gonna use this? What's the purpose of it? But generally, syempre you'll have to look. Kung nakuha niyo yung photo in a stock photography, there's a license to that. So maybe okay lang.
Yung collage,
Collage, diba? Yes.
Yeah.
But kunya kumuha, there's, kailangan mo rin kasi tingnan yung final output to the original protect. Titingnan mo, you have to ask questions. O, sino bang may-ari ng unang work? Yung kinuha ko ba, is it part of protected expression? Meaning, hindi lang siya yung idea or yung subject matter. If you know what I mean. Kasi there's a difference between the idea, the subject matter, the method. Kunyari, cubism. Pwede ka naman gumawa nun eh. But it's still everything, it's not just the technique. You can have the same technique, that's okay. But it's still the overall, the final, or at least the creative expression that you need to analyze. Again, walang hard line. It's a case-to-case basis. It's factual. It's evidentiary. But just as a practical advice, if you're gonna use someone else's work that you get of everything, then double check it. And how you're gonna use it, of course. Kung maliit lang naman siya and it's not a substantial part of the parang spirit of the work or the overall outcome, then there's an argument to that as well. Then na okay lang naman yun. So ganun siya katrabaho. Yeah, that's why. So I would always say na parang yung credit is always good, but it's not enough. Especially you still there's a nuance analysis to it, a strategy to it, depending on your goal.
Yeah.
So, and syempre, there's also risk. It doesn't also mean na parang you're gonna get hahabulin ka in a way. Diba?
Kung ganito, Pearl, may kinongratulate ka online. Like, nanalo ako ng something. Tapos, yung isang organization, kinuha yung painting ko, tapos nilagay, congratulations, Punch, and then nakalagay doon, photo from Punch Alvarez IG. Nainis ako dun.
Yeah, yun. That's okay. That's completely valid. Syempre, yung emotional response mo is obviously valid. Yun yung papasok na what they term...
Did they infringe on my rights ba? Kasi they didn't ask me, pero they naman.
Yun yung parang...
They cited me.
Oo nga, diba? Technically, you have the right to prevent them to you. So technically, they did in context na parang initial response. But at the same time, we have some kind of exceptions. Pero I'm not saying na may exception yun na kasi it's a case-to-case. It's what we call fair use. Yung fair use kasi is I don't know if did you encounter this?
I have. Can you explain na lang?
Okay, so yung fair use kasi is, it's not, parang the law puts standards, but it's always going to be factual. Kailangan mo hindi siya parang checklist lang, ganyan. It requires a nuance analysis. Kasi parang, kunyari one, you have to look to the purpose of the work. Kunyari, is this, kung yung gamit ba niya, the one who used it, is it for like, the school for teaching? Or for, like, an editorial? Like, there are different, so that's one thing. And then the nature of the work, ibig sabihin kung, if it's, kasi diba parang copyright can be something very factual driven. Kunyari, if it's parang a book about dinosaurs na may drawing ka, so that's very fact driven, but it's still may copyright pa rin doon to something very creative like a painting. That's a very creative expression. So obviously, if it's more creative, then protection is stronger kaysa yung mga factual. So that's another standard. And then the third standard is the amount of work copied. So if yung kinapi lang naman is a quote, that's okay. Pag tas gagamitin lang naman for like a news article, which is meant to inform people, then the risk is lower. Compared to like, kinuha mo yung buong painting, tapos pinakita mo, tapos ginawa mo backdrop ng event mo, ibang bagay yun. And then last, yung pinaka-importante is yung, dun yung commercial aspect. Someone gonna profit from this? Is someone going to make money out of it? Is it meant to promote something? So, kunyari yung sa storya mo, I don't know kung anong Instagram yung kumuha. But like if...
No, example lang yun.
I know. For example lang, kunyari yun. So, yung difference kasi with the world right now, and we have these digital platforms and social media use, is that yung you can easily repost things, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang that's like part of it, and there's a Meta platform for that. But like yung Instagram account, parang technically can argue, we're just informing the people. We you know, but syempre, there's also that aspect. Are they promoting their gallery sample or their Instagram account? Let's just make it ano lang. Are they promoting their Instagram account? Or is the Instagram's account's purpose is to gain more followers, to follow them? Yun yung mga lenses that you look into if you want to enforce na parang you infringe my right. Kasi technically, it's not fair use. Parang gano'n. Hindi ka papasok sa fair use. Pero syempre, yun yung layer na pag gusto mong habulin sila. But for me, sa ganyan, I would just suggest, like with anyone, yung emotional response, ask them nicely to take it down. Yeah, if ayaw mo talaga. And then you can propose something. It's up to you. That's a business decision.
Basta, the thing is, yun nga,
They shouldn't do that.
citing you is not enough.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was.
It's not I mean, they should ask your permission. Can we repost this in our account and then we'll cite you? And then yun yung okay. Kasi it's your work. Diba? So and part of that is public display. And public display includes an Instagram account.
Okay. Sige. Last question before we go to yung advice mo for artist na. Yung general advice lang. So
Sige.
we don't get in trouble, ano. So, it's good to learn na the rights remain with us even after our artworks are bought. What happens when we die?
What happens when you die?
Does the rights transfer to the buyer?
Okay. So,
Or the gallery owner? Diba? Parang ano yung mangyayari sa works namin? I mean, kanino mapupunta yung rights?
so under the law, yung copyright exists 50 years until your death, until it becomes public domain.
It becomes public domain after 50 years.
50 years. Unless there's an agreement. Unless there's an agreement.
Between who?
Well, if you, in part of your estate, you kind of, it's part of, I guess, estate planning and all. But normally, hindi na nila yun. Well, since I also work with estates, then usually, yung mga big artists, meron na silang parang
so
plan.
50 years dapat.
50 years. Magiging
yung
public.
rights nito.
Oo. Or like you just say na you include in the kaya how you want to protect your rights, nakalagay doon how you want to use it, na hindi siya magiging public, that you kung sino man yung magmamay-ari nito have the following rights. So, it can get transferred. So, may mga bagay naman na actually wala na nga nasa public domain ngayon kasi everyone kind of just transfers it legally. And even if they die, nakapasok na doon na, okay, si ganyan will manage it. And like,
So,
there's that
for
aspect.
example, an undocumented Juan Luna, ginawa akong t-shirt and then I said it.
Public domain na yun eh.
Good na yun. Good yun.
Ito yun. Well, yung mga walo, hindi ko lang alam if a gallery,
Let's say hindi siya. Let's say personal collection ni Juan Luna. So, ginawa ko, Juan Luna,
public domain na siya.
public domain.
But there is an exception. So, I mean, yung exception is very more nuanced. It's what we call moral rights. So, yung moral rights, it's separate from economic rights. So, part of copyright is owning economic rights. Yun yung right na hindi mo pwedeng i-display sa ganyan, or like you can't copy it or make an adapted or derivative version of it. So that's kind of forming part of that. Moral rights is connected to the author. So ito yung right mo to make sure that you are attributed. So na ikaw may-ari niyan, that hindi iba yung magsasabi na gumawa nito. So that's right of attribution, or your right to prevent people from making material alterations or kind of like something that will damage the artist's reputation or intention. So, yun yung mga papasok yun sa moral rights. And you're right, the right to make sure na basically these rights allow the author, parang the author's connection to the work even if wala na siya dito sa mundo. So, it protects the artist's story in a way, yung reputation niya, yung kanyang, like his work. So, even if technically other people can use it, you still have to maintain you still have to respect moral rights. And these are not easily waived. Pwede siya, kasi kailangan mo talaga siya in writing, and to kind of enforce it, mas strict siya. Kasi, ito, very personal na siya eh. So parang, when you kind of, let's say, yung material alteration mo is something that's very contrary to what the artist's intent is, then di ba, parang parang low blow yun, mali yun. So that's why recently I'm coordinating with like a client and various with other parties. We're dealing with a material or like artwork from someone from, I'm talking to the heirs, so yung mga anak na nila, and yung dad nila passed away already, who's an artist, and now they have the rights, and they are negotiating usage of these rights for adaptation or other uses. And parang it was nice kasi dun ko actually nakita yung moral rights, kasi hindi mo siya masyadong, like as a lawyer, it's mostly, at least for me in my experience, always economic yung mga napag-uusapan, laging commercial yung transactions. But when I was talking to one of the heirs, kasi iba-iba sila, they're not all artists, but there's some artists, especially ones that has a connection to the dad as an artist. May kita mo na kilala niya anong gusto yung mangyari ng tatay niya. So, syempre, there are other offers and negotiations to say, why don't we use it as this? And then the daughter would like, malaki, they'll be offered a huge sum of money, and sila parang, my dad would never want this to do that. So, dun makikita na, it kind of connects to moral rights once we were talking that way, na parang, okay, it's so valuable to understand that, lalo na in this form of, with the digital platforms we have. So, and the kind of ways how your artwork can be utilized, ang dami kasi. Hindi lang siya sa tote bag now.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen contracts on a lot of things, and with AI use, your artwork can go into a totally dark place. And hindi yun yung intention mo. So, we have yung mga, for example, I have to deal with gambling, yung mga gagamitin yung art mo for gambling matters, for advertising, syempre, alam nung client mo na, never yan gagawin ng dad ko. He would roll into the grave before we benefit for something like that. So, these things are something na parang, like, because there's so many transactions now, like, if it's for a product na hindi binibilieve, hindi gusto ng artist or against siya, these things matter pala kahit deads ka na. Because the heirs have to respect it. But they won't. But technically, they don't have, alam mo yun, because parang it opened my eye to how yung connection of the artist to the art and how this world can just damage it. And yun siguro yung eye-opening for me. Kasi there's obviously a commercial and profit value for it. Parang in my head, it's all legal naman eh. So they're not doing anything illegal. But it kind of opened my eye to say na, kasi wala namang marang moral rights will only be there if someone opposes it. Parang, you're opposing the moral rights. So if hindi, then it's clean. Parang okay lang yan. Tatanggapin na. Patay na ako eh. Diba? Parang like you can, my heirs have the capacity to do what they need based on what I've given them. But because they respect the artist and they know the story, alam nila that there's no value, that there are limits to it and the use of it. Kasi with what we have now, andali na lang to kind of put your art in several platforms that can be against your beliefs or advocacy.
Exactly.
Diba?
Yeah. Kaya yung tinatanong ko kanina, what if ginamit yun, tapos sinight lang yung ko, di ba? Tapos hindi ko pa gusto yung gallery or something, di ba? Parang may sila. Kasi, I mean, people use things to their advantage eh.
That's right.
Di ba? So if you have a good name and they want to attach their name to yours without isa-site lang nila, di ba? Parang napaka-unfair. Doon dadating yung fair use.
And now people are more, alam mo yun, dalawang tao, extremes na yung mga tao ngayon, either parang, ang bilis nilang they just give, kung ano man makita nila parang, wow, parang they react to it and believe it, fake news and all, and like subscribe to it, and then they're on the extreme na parang, oh, no way, this real. And so like, ang hirap tansyahin.
Mm.
So, ikaw mismo as an artist, you should know the value of your work.
Mm.
So, you have to have that clear parang boundaries na this is what I believe in, and if you transact commercially, then you also have to make
Mm.
that explicit.
That was very detailed. I mean, the whole talk has been very detailed.
I know, sobrang dami.
Sobrang dami pala. So, yeah, I mean, ang daming pwede pag-usapan.
Mm-mm.
A few words na lang before
Yeah.
we end this. Ano yung I can summarize what we've talked about. I can do that.
Yeah.
You wanna do it?
No, I don't wanna summarize. Ang dami masyado. But
Pero yun nga, essentially, I think what Attorney Pearl is telling us is you can go through the whole interview and then screen it one by one. Pero essentially, yung sinasabi lang ni Attorney Pearl is even if the artwork is sold, a lot of how it gets used is still up to us.
yes, you have control.
We have control over that, and that is very, very important as creators because we have our own intentions.
Yes.
So yun lang naman yung summary nito. The details, the nitty-gritty, you can go through the whole interview again. You can see the details kung paano gamitin, how to be safe, how to navigate para we won't get in trouble kasi we don't want that din naman. And as artists, I would like to believe na we don't really have any ill intentions towards each other and society. So yun, Pearl, that was a really nice interview. I think this would help us a lot, lalo na yung mga artists na walang access to legal advice and then nagagamit yung mga artworks nila or they're getting taken advantage of by bigger entities.
Yeah.
So I hope this episode is to everyone's liking and to everyone's knowledge and and yun nga, do you wanna plug ba? Kasi
Plug. Oh,
Hindi,
Hindi
yung
naman.
Adjalo, wait lang sorry kasi it's very expensive to get legal advice. I would know. And people don't just give that out for free. And what Attorney Pearl just did was to give us a very comprehensive way of looking and handling copyright issues. And this is something na yun nga, most lawyers would pay a hefty price for, So I think we owe it to her to at least give you yung details nung where to contact you, yung website and
okay.
stuff.
Siguro like parang as a background kasi and to talk about my practice also in
Yeah.
relation, yung I also really understand na yung it's scary because of the budget to talk to a lawyer in a way. But at the same time, itong interview na to kasi I tried to make it more, not really more about the technical. Kasi honestly, what's unique and challenging about copyright infringement or protecting your work is that you really need guidance. So parang ideally, you should get, parang if you want it to be thorough and to really protect you, it's important that you have someone to consult you. I would really suggest that. Kasi, wag kayong matakot na, like, based on my experience, ang una tinatanong, kailangan ba nila ng retainer or something like that? Sabi ko, no, you don't. You don't have to. Not yet. Some can. But it's always, for me kasi, like, when it comes to, like, at least me personally, when it comes to like artists or creatives, I feel like it's a partnership talaga. And it's so important that you find the right person to partner with you. It's not just the legal aspect, but someone who understands yung goals niya. Kasi it's really a strategy. It's actually like a commercial strategy. When you talk to a lawyer, or if you talk to me, then we'll talk about your goals, your intentions, the story behind you, and what you want. Kasi hindi ko lang sabihin, register natin copyright mo, or patingin ng mga contracts. That's always going to be, parang gagawin ko pa rin yun, but it has to look into the long-term goal of the artist. So with our firm, so we're a full service firm. So we handle everything in general. So we each have our own specialty and background, but I do IP, corporate, and entertainment. So with what I do, I feel like it's important for me na maintindihan ko kung ano yung gusto nung client ko or nung artist. It usually hindi siya the fees are dependent on a lot of things. So normally they come to me if may transactions na. Like they're being engaged or may collaborations, or they want me to review a contract, or their work will be used by someone. Or for bigger one, we're going to negotiate rights now with a bigger entity. So most of actually yung clients ko are the small artists. Hindi siya, iba yung kausap mo yung mga, those who want to buy it. Kasi I've talked to them, but I'm going to be for the artist. So I've seen it also in play. It's intense. Pero dun ko rin nakita na pwede kang lamunin ng, ng big entities if you do not have the proper guidance. So, especially with contract negotiation, actually, hindi naman ibig sabihin nun na they're out to get money from you or like get you. It's just that most of the time talaga, when you see their contracts, template lang yan. And obviously, when you see the templates, it's always going to be pro them. That's just normal. So, parang it's technically, you give them everything, but it doesn't, parang in practice, hindi naman nila gagawin yun. They'll still take care of you. Based on my experience, ha. Pero, if something goes wrong, wala na. When you go to courts or enforce it, they will still look at the contract. And if the contract says this, then more often than not, it's that. Parang unless you argue, which will entail more resources. So that's why I tell my artists na, alam mo, better na magbayad na kayo now kaysa may kumopya, mas malaki bayad mo. Kasi mas mahirap mag-enforce. When you go to court, when magdemandahan kayo, when you sue those others, it's even more expensive. So it's better that at the very start pa lang, you get the right partnership, the right protection. So that, kasi that's why the guidance usually is at the start. It's so important at the start. And then eventually, pag you get more opportunities and you more relationships, then it's good to have a lawyer to kind of bounce off the plans. And parang alam lang niya, ito yung mga risks na kailangan mo bantayan. And you can have that arrangement with a lawyer that you feel comfortable with, that you trust. Kasi kaya talaga ng trustworthy partnership with that.
Yeah. Of course. Ayun, so ano yung website nyo?
Agelo.ph.
Agelo.ph. So if you want to contact her and yun nga, hire her for legal matters.
Yeah. Siguro I'll just get three advice na lang for, kasi I made notes also.
Okay, yes.
I made some notes lang, like what I want to kind of advise those kahit na hindi pa kayo mag-lawyer up. One, yung sinabi ko, document your process.
Yes.
Important yun. Document your process, kahit for personal use lang. And then, before you say yes to anything, kung kunyari, wala ka pang counsel, wag kang madala ng excitement or ng opportunity. Kind of like calm down and clarify what rights are involved, what you're giving to, what they're giving you, so that you really understand everything. So clarify the rights and that goes from artists and buyers also, and business owners. If you want to, you have to know, ano ba talaga yung sa akin? Ano ba yung sa'yo? Okay, parang ganon. Dapat malinaw yon. And then third really is separate yung opportunity from the terms. Kasi it's easy to get excited, to get parang lalo na if you know that it could be a good deal, you're given this opportunity and it's great, but you have to look into the details, the terms, the contract terms, and there's so much into that that ideally you'll have someone to advise you with. So I guess, of course, an opportunity is great, but it has to be something that is, there's value to it for yourself and for your long-term goals. So parang shift your reaction to that and kind of look into long-term as an artist. I know, I guess for artists parang or creatives in general, we get so into the moment with what we want to do without looking minsan at the long-term possibility. And when you find kaya like when I talk to a new artist and kind of like be excited with him or her, and then I tell them about the opportunity and like, what we could do together, then iba yun parang mapapaisip sila. So you have to also kind of know your long-term goal as an artist and not just concentrate on short-term goals mo. Kasi that will help strategize how you're going to protect your work, the kind of commercial transactions you want, or also the kind of message you want to give, the boundaries you want to make. Ang dami na kasing platforms now where you wanna place it. That may idea ka na Hindi naman kailangan strict siya. Pwede siya mag-evolve. Pero it's helpful na you understand it. And syempre, having also a consultant or a lawyer that kind of understands the industry. Yung problema kasi dito sa Pilipinas is kung ano yung nasa batas at kung ano nangyayari, magkaiba. Hindi naman kailangan i-explain yun. So, to execute things is so different than what you read. So, that's why, I mean, kasi na may AI na, diba? So, meron kaming mga clients na finid ko yan, may contracts na finifeed nila sa AI. Hindi naman ako against it kasi at least para maintindihan nila. Diba? So, they'll understand it. Fine, you can do that. You're free to do that if you want. But, iba pa rin that can be the start. So, at least medyo gets mo. But if you talk to a lawyer, iba yung sasabihin niya, not because mali yung AI or
Maraming factors. Yes.
Maraming factors with the art creative industry. Ang daming factors talaga.
There's common law pa, di ba?
Hindi siya yung when you execute it or when you enforce something, parang ang dali sabihin, sige, demanda natin yan. Sige, write tayo ng C&D. It should be a strategy. And that only comes if you have the right partnership.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, yun nga. Essentially, getting a lawyer is yun nga, having someone you trust.
Yeah.
Having someone you can bet your life on. Kasi it would really depend on that. So, and yun nga, and as artists din, we are sensitive beings.
Yeah.
And we should really find someone whom we can dance with. So, yeah. Pearl, this has been really informative. I cannot thank you enough. We're going to lunch after this. Although dinner to
Yeah.
i-reply. So, thank you.